Standard 4.1.8, it says deduce logical rules for real-world situations. The idea is that the whole world is based on decision-making structures. We make decisions all the time, and computers do that most of the time for us. So they take a look, computer programmers take a look at real-world situations, and they develop basically lots of code that we've been looking at, the if-else blocks, and make the programs run based on those real-world situations. So why don't I just take what I've already got from last year's notes. One example, you might not even be familiar with what DDoS is, but very simply, it is where there's a whole bunch of computers that try to take down a server, right? That's a denial of service or a distributed denial of service attack. And how would you know that, if your server is shutting down, that it was a denial or distributed denial of service attack? Well, these rules are pretty good. First of all, if traffic that is unknown is greater than 20% of the traffic volume, and that its traffic volume is 5 times the average, because that's what happens, right? You get a bunch of zombie computers that are trying to connect all at the same time to a server to take it down because it's too busy. And so there you go. So if there's a lot of unknown traffic and there's just a lot more traffic than there usually is, both of those things probably indicate that it's a denial of service attack. Or there could be just a lot of traffic that's unknown and drop requests are greater than 5%. So in other words, it's starting the denial of service attack whether or not the traffic is unknown and the traffic volume is greater than what it usually was or not. It doesn't matter because things are slowing down, so there's a problem. I don't know, I whipped this up the other year, and it may not be the best description of distributed denial of service attack, but we're going to use it. So let's just take this as our real-world situation. And so this is basically, if you're watching these videos and you're wondering whether you need to watch this one again, this is just review of the sort of programming that you've already seen. Again, I don't know what I'm calling these things yet. So PS VM, and I'm going to put behind comments what I had said. So how would you program this? Well, first of all, you probably want to use our BReader and input stuff. So BReader tab, the two imports, and we're going to ask the questions. What are we going to know? How about unknown traffic? So let's ask this question to return an integer value. So we're going to go what unknown, can be an integer. So we get that one in. Once we've got our little throw clause. What else do we want to know? Traffic volume is 5 times the average. Yeah, okay, we'll assume this is a network manager who just knows that, so SOUT. I mean, we can make this more complex and do a calculation, but let's just keep it straightforward. Is the true, false? True, false. Next question. Traffic that is unknown. I'm not sure what I meant by that. Let's just say traffic that is unknown greater than 10%. And drop requests are greater than 5%. So just one more question then, once we take in our answer here, for the first, or the second question, Boolean, sorry I didn't finish that, traffic volume. Issue, I'll just say traffic volume issue. Right, so back I go to the question about the drop requests. True, false. Drop request issue. How about that? Right. So this gets a little bit more complex, and I don't know, with teaching and coding, how far I will have got, or you will have got watching this, but this is a compound one that says if this and this, or, right, that's the difference from the last one, or that and that. So that compound condition or that compound condition, either one of them could indicate that this is probably a DDoS attack. So this is the way that it looks. If known traffic is greater than 20%, right, and real world situation, and the traffic volume is 5 times greater than the average, which is this variable, whoops, greater than, well, it's just that's just true or false, right? So if those two things are true, or, and or looks like this, or the traffic which is unknown is greater than 5%, so not that big of a deal. Or would I say 510? But we're already starting to have drop requests of greater than 5%, so something's up. So to finish this off, and that one is true. And we'll just take a look at that. And isn't that too bad? I can't move that over. Well, I mean, just take a look, right? So if this is true, i.e. both of those things are true, or both of those things are true, in either case, we're suspicious that this is probably a DDoS. And the whole point of this is not to get into complex Boolean logic, which I've done, but it's the real world thing, right? This is the real world. Somebody reading this, if I could just change that a little bit to be greater than 10%, would be like, yeah, that makes sense. If you know, you got a situation like that, you might think it's a DDoS. Or if you have a situation like this, that also is another time where you might think it's a DDoS, right? So we're taking a real world situation that you can write in English and putting it into code, and if any of those, then we'll just keep it simple and we'll just sout something right here. Sout there very well may underway. And for our else, we'll just say, whoops. Probably not a DDoS underway. real world situation written up in code.